Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's live training where today I, Marie Rogers, conversion specialist, is going to talk to you about how to get your coaching clients from curious to committed. After all, isn't that every entrepreneur, every coach's dream, that you can have curious clients that can't wait to commit to becoming your client? Okay, so if that's what you want, this is a live especially for you. So what gets your prospects to go from curious to committed? Well, there's one word that basically, if it's not included, it means that it will never happen, and that word is convinced. So what you need is, you need curious prospects who are like, what's this all about? Oh, you're doing what I want, to then be convinced that working with you is a great idea and is right for them, so that they can then commit to becoming your clients and doing the work. Okay, now for most, when you're looking at it, it's the word convincing that seems to be missing, because if people aren't convinced about you, if they're not convinced about your offer, if they're not convinced that they're going to get the results that they're after, then they can't and they won't buy from you. So how do you get them from, first of all, noticing you, curious about what it is that you offer, to convinced that you're the real deal and the solution that's absolutely right for them right now, so that they can commit to not only becoming your client, but can commit to the transition, to the work that needs to be done, the actions that need to be taken, so that they can ultimately get the results that they are after. Because uncommitted clients don't get results either. So we want to make sure that they're committed in every single way. Not just committed to saying yes, but committed to actually also doing the work. So how do you make that happen? Well, it's pretty simple. What you want to basically do is, you actually want to, well, I'll start with the fact of what happens if you don't get this right, because it's really crucial that you do. The first thing is that you've got a lot of clients, or no, sorry, not clients, you've got a lot of prospects that literally show up. So you might be having calls, you're interacting with people, you've got calls, and people are showing up and they're going, oh my God, that sounds great. Or they're when you speak to them about what you do, they go, oh, that sounds great. And they sound interested. But then what happens is that when you try and tie them down to maybe a call, or if you're on a call, you tie them down to saying yes to you, suddenly what happens is they back off. You can literally see it, and they don't commit to a date, they don't commit to a time, and they don't commit to yes. And in fact, what they do is they kind of ghost you. They go MIA on you. And you're suddenly left going, what happened there? They were interested. Why aren't they buying from me? And ultimately you could hear they've bought from someone else. The second thing that happens if you're not able to take people from curious to committed and convince them that you're the real deal, then what happens is that you attract the freebie hunters. Now, they are more than happy to get in a call with you. In fact, they want to get in a call with you so that they can mine you for all of the actions and all of the training that literally you can do that's going to help them get the results that they want. But once you've given them all these solutions and helped them, instead of saying, yes, sign me up and want to become your client, what they say is, thank you so much. I can't wait to put this into action. And off they go without paying you. Does that happen? Does that sound familiar? The third thing that results is feast and famine. So you might get a client and you're dead excited, but then you start worrying about where the next one's coming from, and you don't know, because there's not enough clients going from curious, getting convinced, to go to committed. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound where you're at the moment? If it is, what you want to do is you actually want to turn it to the opposite, because if you get this right and you can get your ideal prospects curious about what it is that you offer, convince them that you're the real deal and can solve their problem and get them to commit to you, then what happens is that you not only are signing quality clients with ease, they've got total clarity and realistic expectations of what they need to do to get the results that they're actually paying for. So you're working with clients that literally make you want to jump out of bed because they're doing the work and they're getting the results. You're creating an army of raving fans who are spreading the word about what you do. And actually that's like pebbles, and like throwing pebbles into a lot. It ripples out. Doesn't that sound great? The next thing that happens is that you actually only attract quality clients. And in fact, you repel the freebie hunters so that you don't have to waste your time getting on calls where you're giving free coaching to people that are never, ever going to pay to work with you. The third thing that happens is that instead of feast and famine, you have predictable clients, an income that is there every single month and continues to grow, so that you can feel proud of the business that not only you've achieved, but also the clients who really you're shifting and you're helping transform, and the impact that you're having on the world. The reason why you set up your coaching business in the first place. Just like Angela. Now, when Angela first came to work with me, before she even started working with me, and I was actually asking her questions, and I asked her to be really honest about why me and why now, what she actually turned around when we delved a little bit deeper into it, and I said, well, how much business have you actually brought in the last 12 months in your coaching? And she literally just turned around and she says, I don't want to tell you. And I says, why not? Because it's so bad. And I went, it isn't so bad. Please tell me. We've got to have a starting point. We've got to know where we're moving from so we can work out where we're moving to. And she said, I've earned less than £10,000 in the last 12 months. And her voice shook as she told me that. And I said, hey, here's the great thing. You are able to produce £10,000, just under £10,000 from people who wanted to work with you. What that tells me is that you have got a system and a way of working that truly transforms lives. The only problem you have is you're not getting enough curious prospects, you're not convincing enough people, and they're not therefore committing to buy from you. So if we solve that, you've got the ways and means to really have an impact and actually help the people that you're meant to work with transform. Did she feel better? Absolutely. I said, when we set up our business, we don't suddenly know how to generate all these clients. We think it's going to be easy. We think that if everybody makes it seem dead easy, it's like the promises are that it's dead easy. And the expectation is if I do my website and I create my programs and I have a price point and I've got my niche, then all the clients will find me. And then you get told that if you post every day, all the clients will find you. And you do all of those things. And then you're told, oh, hold on a second, if you create a funnel, then they'll all find you. And you do that too. And every single time you do more and more, but less and less seems to be happening. The problem isn't all of these systems. The problem isn't a big list. The problem isn't anything else other than you're not getting people curious, the right people curious, not the wrong people, the freebie hunters, the real clients that you should be working with curious, and they're not convinced that you're the real deal. Even though you are, even though I know you are, even though you know you are, they aren't. And as a result, they can't and won't buy, which is where the lack comes in, just like Angela. Now I'm going to give you tips, the same tips that not only have I given Angela, but I have repeatedly and consistently worked with on every single client that I've taken in, because this is not a new problem. This is not, you are not the exception. You are not. This is the rule. The problem is everybody's made to feel that they are doing something wrong. When the issue is that when you start a business, most times you've not done it before, so you don't know a lot of the stuff that you need to be able to do. And you would get a lot of promises and very little delivery. So how do you move your perfect prospect from curious, get them convinced that you're the real deal and the right solution for them, and commit to not only buying from you, but taking the action throughout their program? 3 tips, okay? Now, the first one is that they need to be very clear on why they should buy from you and not everybody else. Because remember, you're up against a sea of competition, and that there is the reality. Prospects can't get curious about you if you're invisible to them. So you need to stand out. Now, one of the ways to stand out is you need to niche your niche. Just being the same as everybody else is not enough, because there's 2 many choices available. And what that means is it's the luck of the draw. Now, who wants to build a business on being a lottery? Okay, that can't work. So you need to niche your niche. Stand out so that everybody knows exactly what you do, what you stand for, and what is your differentiator from everybody else in your niche. Niching your niche means that you become a market of one instead of a sea of competition. The second thing that you need to be able to do is have a very clear promise and path. People think that it's clear, it's really usually not. What most people have got great clarity on is how we're going to work together, the number of sessions, how long those sessions are going to last, what resources are in place. Those are the things, the logistics. All of you, most people I work with, they're really, really clear on the logistics. They're not so clear on the path and the promise. Now remember, your clients buy in emotion, they justify in logic. So the fact is that if your path and promise is actually all logistics, you're literally turning people off instead of turning them on to commit to buying from you. So you need to understand exactly not only what your steps to success are, but how to lay them out in a way that makes sure that people understand why buying from you is the real deal. I'll tell you one thing. The biggest problem with Angela was that when we laid out our steps to success and I deep dived into them, and I really deep dived into them, nitty gritty, what she was actually explaining to her clients was not the USP was not standing out. I'll give you an example. An amazing coach, but one of the reasons why she was literally getting massive results from the few people that she worked with was the way that she implemented her program. And she didn't. She went, but I thought everybody did that. I was like, no, they don't. This is the reason. The way that you have it working is completely unique, and you are not even telling anybody about that. The minute that became that stood out and was really visible, she started signing clients with ease. So her steps to success needed to be clearer. The third thing was asking with confidence. Most times, I find most coaches don't know and struggle to ask with confidence a prospect to become a client. They have an awkward conversation, or they jam it on at the end and they don't feel really awkward talking about money, or they don't ask at all. They just wait for that person to be so impressed that they say, well, how can we work together? Now, you can't run a business if your whole way of actually getting clients is to sit back and wait for them to reach out to you. If that's what you've been doing, you've probably already recognized that they don't come knocking on your door that often, okay? Remember, feast and famine. So asking with confidence is using the power of three, because what you don't want to do is have the question being if they should work with you. What you really want it to be is which way they should work with you. And that power of three, that's a total game changer. It means that you can literally ask every single time and not worry about it. Just actually do it with ease, and people are responding and saying yes. In fact, these three things are exactly what we worked on with Angela. And the result of it was this, that within 30 days, she had signed 2 new clients, 2 one-to-one clients, okay? In fact, they were so committed that they paid her £3,994 up front. They didn't even ask to pay monthly. They just went, hey, I'm all in. They were so committed, so easy to say yes to. Now, if you think about the fact that this is 30 days, just under £4,000, £3,994 in the bank, in comparison to the last 12 months, just under £10,000. Delighted. And within 60 days, so this is the first 30 days, within 60 days, what she had is she'd sold 9 one-to-one clients just by following this system. She niched her niche, had the steps to success clear, and she was power of three in her ask. Easy to say yes to. 9 clients are happy to say yes, eager to work with her. In fact, so eager that she'd now sold £19,976. I had to write it down because I know what they are, because I always look at the results. £19,976. She just literally 200%ed her in 60 days what she had, like 10,000 the year before, 12 months. She now had £20,000 practically sold in just 60 days. In fact, 6 clients, 6 of the 9 paid her up front. Money in the bank. It was just under £15,000 in the bank. delighted with predictable income from committed clients who were taking action in the next, basically, 2 months. Happy and delighted. Now, within 90 days, what had now changed was that because she had predictable one-to-one clients coming, she was now launching her group program. And that was the next stage in the evolution of one-to-one clients, to move from one-to-one to group coaching, a mastermind, in fact. And the result of that was she didn't even have to have new clients, she actually moved clients into it. So now she had predictable income, she had a path to success for her clients, and she was niche in her niche because they recognised that she was the true expert. She was not going back to her corporate career, which was the problem that she had, because when I said to her, £10,000 and less a year, how long can you keep that going? She says, you know, I have to go back to, if I don't solve this in the next 3 months, I've got no money and I'm going to have to go back and get a job. Well, she's no longer getting a job. She's literally, her business is flying, she's loving what she's doing, she's eager to jump out of bed every single morning. And at the end of the day, business is now fun because she's got the finances and the freedom to actually start enjoying her business, which she hadn't done, to be honest. She was just spent on dire days and overwhelm. Does that sound familiar? Because if that's you, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Believe me, you don't need to stay stuck. And sometimes all of the stuff that you're doing just leads to the overwhelm. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not convincing enough clients to buy from you, I'm not moving them from curious to committed, what is your path for doing that? And if you don't have a path, then that's where the lack and the reason why you're not signing clients is. If you want to be more like Angela and you want to move from maybe not having the income, and you're sitting there kind of going, this is what I earned in the last 12 months, or you're looking at the last 9 months, you know, like, and you're saying 2019, you know, we're now in September, has it been the year exactly that you'd hoped for? And if you're sitting there and thinking to yourself, maybe not, but I want to end it in a high, let me tell you, you've got 90 days to instantly turn this around, just like Angela did and like many others. The fact is that you need a path in order to be able to do that. So if you're sitting there and you're saying, hey, I want to end 2019 on a high and be able to start off 2020 with a fast start and not get overwhelmed again, if you want to get rid of that and you want to sign clients with ease and you want to make sure that they move from curious to committed, then I want you to post yes in the comments. That yes is a yes to starting your business and taking it to the level that you want it to, instead of suffering with overwhelm and burnout and actually constantly kicking yourself or feeling frustrated as you watch clients not sign up with you. If that's you and you want to get away from the pain of, you know, struggling to the success of signing clients with ease, then post yes. Those 3 letters are actually a massive commitment to yourself and a sign of how much you actually want to get your business from maybe feeling like an expensive hobby to a successful and profitable business that allows you to have freedom, allows you to have finances, and allows you to have fun. So if you're up for ending 2019 in a high and you want to find out how you can convince more clients and get them curious to committed, then post yes in the comments and you'll find out how. This is Marie Rogers, you know, signing off in September 2019, looking forward to all of the committed coaches who are ready to take their business to the place that they want it to be rather than struggling. And I look forward to showing you how.